Ladies and gentlemen, it should be no surprise that there's a police shortage really all over the country. So this came out on Scriber. Southern California police officers respond to nationwide cop shortage. And actually, there are tons of stories out about this. But how can you be surprised about this when every time you see stories on police, it's negative? It's always negative. And they all seem very gleeful when they get away with killing one of us. And we have seen fundraisers for cops that murder. So you don't make it look good. You make it look horrible. Not to mention, you've had a horrible reputation from the start. It's never been a good reputation for cops. And then you come out with all these movies trying to glorify cops. And they don't deserve any glory at all. So if people are not joining, it's your own fault. Take a look at your media and what you're putting out on a regular basis in mainstream media about cops and how they go above and beyond to protect bad cops. That's all mainstream media does. It protects the bad cops. So cops have been under heavy scrutiny by the public eye due to the mass media contentious portrayal concerning police altercations in the last decade. Trust me, it's been way longer than that. According to Pew Research Center, 81% of cops who work in departments of 100 or more sworn officers say the media generally treats police unfairly, with 18% of officers who disagree. No, I don't agree that you're getting treated unfairly. Cops in this country got more protection than any other police on the planet. America protects their cops almost, give them almost a godlike status up in here. And all that does is make them act more unruly. And that's exactly what we see. The Hands Up, Don't Shoot movement, born out of Brown's death, partnered with Black Lives Matter, sparked debate with politicians, advocates, and journalists. Yeah, it sparked debates, and then it didn't go beyond that. Like I said, if anything, they got more protection in America than any other place on the planet. For years following the incident, police departments struggle to hire worthy cops, and police brutality has become a regular news beat in newsrooms. That's because that's the norm in the country. It's acceptable. In response to some of these cases, ambush on cops has become an additional threat. I don't agree with that. Cops are not dying at the same rate that they are killing people in this country. I disagree. However, the media isn't purely to blame for the lack of hirees. Some of the blunder falls on police department candidates themselves, who often struggle through the hiring process. According to Chief Timothy Finneran of Azusa Pacific University Department of Campus Safety, many applicants cannot pass the thorough hiring process, testing, and background investigation. And remember, most of these cops got rap sheets themselves. With the rise of social media and increased expectations, candidates must possess a variety of qualities. Law enforcement agencies continue to look for qualified, mature candidates that can carry out the intense duty of law enforcement officers and will not tarnish the badge. Honey, that badge has been tarnished for centuries. Okay? Oh man, this man is seriously delusional. The business of policing have become increasingly difficult with expanded responsibilities for more equipment and frequent changes in the law or case law. Chief Stephen Hunt of the Azusa Police Department revealed, "We are looking for independent thinkers who are able to process complex situations and make good decisions under stress," Hunt says. I don't know, what's a good decision under stress? Pull your gun out and shoot unarmed people? They have been able to communicate well with the public and yet be able to maintain order when required. Do anybody in the Black community see all this good communication going on? Anybody? Oh, since cops are exposed to new technology, they must have understanding of not only technology, but social media as well, according to Hunt. That's because many people are now carrying smartphones with cameras and see things that did not get exposed before are clearly being exposed now. You know, see, they were able to do a lot of these little dirty things, and all you had was the word of the person that it happened to. But now a lot has been revealed, not only about cops, but about these citizens that run around with their phones trying to run up on Black people and call the cops, you know? So it has revealed a lot. And it also has showed who the real problem is in this country. Okay, we recently had to change our hiring practices, Hunt said. After flying the position for about a month and accepting nearly 100 candidates, we netted 0 candidates when the process was complete. Approximately half showed up for the written exam, which is very common for applicants who apply to become Azusa PD officers, Hunt said. The written exam and the physical ability test disqualified more candidates, he continued. After the oral interviews, we were left with under 10 candidates who were not successful in the background screening, leaving us 0 candidates. Damn. Yeah, like I said, many of these cops got criminal records themselves. This caused us to hold monthly written exams to keep a flow of candidates to screen. In the Oceanside Police Department, approximately 90% of applicants are disqualified quickly due to recent drug use, including marijuana, criminal history, driving records, poor credit history, inadequate employment record, dishonorable discharge from the military, bad reviews from former employers, and unacceptable physical condition. Damn. So they are having a hard time finding candidates. Of the remaining 10% of applicants, only a quarter of them will pass the psychological and physical fitness exams. Then, after the academy, those who graduate have to go through approximately 3 months of field training, and several usually fail and get terminated due to not being able to safely handle themselves with the public. It sounds like the most psychotic people are applying for these police jobs. The standard for hiring is extremely high, and most departments do not lower their standards to meet hiring needs. Oceanside police officer Gary Phillips, Alexis, said, typically, police departments do not have a preference between male or female candidates or whether applicants attend a police academy or earn a bachelor's degree. The Oceanside Police Department previously required applicants to have a bachelor's degree, but that requirement has been lifted. Most of my fellow officers don't even have a college degree. Well, that explains a lot about them. No wonder why many of them don't carry themselves right out in public. That explains everything. He thinks candidates should have some level of formal education based on APD's hiring practices. Having graduated from an academy is not required. If someone has demonstrated the dedication and sacrifice, I do acknowledge it shows a level of commitment, Hunt admitted. Oftentimes, those struggling to get hired will put themselves through the academy, so we don't always get the best applicants with academy graduates. Well, just because they go to a police academy don't mean they are the best cops. Look at Amber Geiger. She went to a police academy, and look at how she conducted herself and all them racist texts and everything she had. She wasn't the best cop, and she went to an academy. Another factor that affects interest in police agency is the high risk of bodily injuries police officers face on a daily basis. Carrying equipment alone takes its toll on a body. But then add physical altercations, caring for injured people. Did Amber Geiger care for Botham, caring for injured people? No, she didn't show no concern whatsoever. Moving things out of the roadway, training, range, to name a few, Hunt said. Add in there the things police officers are exposed to on a daily basis: death, gore, violent assaults, sexual assaults, injured children, use of force, shootings, lawsuits, court cases, public scrutiny, and policy, which are also which also affect the well-being of our police officers. Mm-mm-mm. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you know what it is. A lot of young people know police departments don't pay well. And that is really another factor on why people are not coming for those jobs. You're not getting the cream of the crop, but you are getting the bottom feeders coming. That's why they can't pass nothing. You're getting the bottom feeders, people that have violent tendencies and have all kinds of psychological problems that come to apply for police work, because that is one job they can get on. If they're able to get into a police department, they know they can get away with virtually everything. I'm just saying. And the pay is low in most cases. These municipalities do not pay a lot of money to these police officers. So they will look at that and see other jobs that pay much better, and they'll go for those jobs. And that has a lot to do with it too. So the cops hiring program has placed more than 129,000 officers in communities across the U.S. to advance policing and crime prevention efforts, Reichert said. Make no mistakes, these officers are necessary for the safety of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, do you feel safe in your communities with these cops? Just let me know in the comment section. I'm just remembering New York when the cops got tired of being protested and they stopped patrolling the black neighborhood and crime went down. I bet you if they stopped showing up, crime would actually go down all across the country. It wouldn't have the opposite effect. See, when these folks talk, they act like if you don't get the policing, then it's going to be crazy out here. No, actually, it'll be sane without the cops. We already have an example of that up in New York. The criminal justice departments across college campuses, however, there is not a shortage of student interest, but the correlation between those students and who make it into the police force is uncertain. So they're saying most of these people, the high IQ crowd, they can't even make it into the police academy because that's who they mainly hire anyway. The percentage of black cops is low. And just like teachers, the police forces across the country are predominantly white. So what this is really saying is their own people can't even go through the process of getting hired and passing the exams. They can't do it. They can't do it, y'all. So please tell me what you think, y'all. So the vast majority of the people that apply for these jobs, they're saying they can't even pass or get through the entire process, or they failed the physical and psychological exams, or they're on drugs and they failed the drug test. Y'all. But, let's face it, police got a bad reputation in this country. And it's their own fault that they have that bad reputation. And they have done nothing to clean up the situation. And I got to the point, y'all, I don't even pay attention to these conversations they have. Oh, police departments in the black community, there are problems and blah, 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 blah. And you notice it never goes beyond a conversation. You know why? Because they want things to be that way. If they really wanted to change things, you would see it by now. I don't even pay attention to the conversations anymore because they're a waste of time. All they're going to do is raise the issue, babble about it for a moment, and then everything goes right back to the way it was before. I don't even concern myself with that mess anymore. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.